The story of India's constitution did not begin on a single day. It is a long journey. The journey started long before freedom came in 1947. Let us, look at a timeline. In 1773, the British East India Company started making rules for parts of India. This was a time of company rule. After a big rebellion in 1857, things changed. In 1858, the British Crown took direct control. This was called Crown Rule. For almost 100 years, the British government in London made laws for India. Indians had very little say in how their own country was run. This long period of being ruled by others created a deep desire for self-rule and a rule book written by Indians, for Indians. Indian leaders knew that a free India needed its own set of laws. A constitution is the most important rule book for any country. It is like a nation's birth certificate. It sets out the entire system of government, explains how leaders are chosen and what powers they have. Most importantly, it protects the rights of every single person. India is a very large and diverse nation. Many languages, religions, cultures. A constitution was needed to unite everyone, where all felt safe and equal. The old British laws were for a colony, not a democracy. The demand for a new constitution grew stronger over decades and became central to the freedom struggle. The demand for a Constituent Assembly was a powerful idea. Indian leaders had been asking for it since the 1930s. They argued that only Indians had the right to decide their own future. After many years of struggle, this demand was finally met. The Constituent Assembly was formed in 1946. Its main job was to write a constitution for a free India. The members were not chosen by a direct vote of all people. They were elected by members of the provincial legislative assemblies. These bodies already existed across British India. The assembly was a mirror of India itself. Members from all over the country, different regions, political parties, communities. The composition was diverse: great lawyers, experienced politicians, scholars, social reformers. Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Dr. Rajendra Prasad played key roles. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected president of the assembly, but the most important figure in the writing was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, brilliant legal expert and champion for the oppressed, appointed chairman of the drafting committee. That committee prepared the first draft for discussion. The assembly represented the hopes of a new nation. Its working method was systematic and democratic. It did not rush. The assembly held its first meeting in December 1946 and met in many sessions over 3 years. Sessions were open to the public and press. Every clause was debated in detail. Members could propose amendments. Each proposal was carefully considered. Many viewpoints were heard. It was a massive exercise in listening and consensus. To manage the task, the Assembly set up more than 20 committees. Committees focused on areas like fundamental rights, union and provincial powers, and studied constitutions of the United States, Britain, and Ireland. After nearly 3 years of hard work, the final draft was ready. The process involved many steps: principles discussed first, then detailed text prepared. The draft was published and shared with the public for comments. Many letters and telegrams came in from citizens all over India. The Assembly considered these opinions seriously. The draft was debated clause by clause. Members proposed thousands of amendments. Many were accepted. Reading, debating, and voting made the document collective wisdom. The final moment came on November 26, 1949. The Constitution was adopted and signed. This day is now Constitution Day, Samvidhan Divas. The Constitution came into force on January 26, 1950, linking the Republic to the Purna Swaraj Resolve of 1930. India became a sovereign, democratic republic. British rule was replaced. Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the first president. Republic Day is celebrated with a grand parade in New Delhi. From this day, the Parliament, the government, the courts, and the state governments began to function under the Constitution, the supreme law of the land. The Indian Constitution has several key features. It is one of the longest written constitutions, very detailed to avoid confusion. It establishes parliamentary democracy and creates a federal system with a strong centre. It guarantees fundamental rights, includes directive principles to guide policy, and has a process for amendment, a living document. The Constitution begins with the Preamble. It is not enforceable in court, but it is the soul or spirit of the entire Constitution, declaring its basic values and goals. It summarizes the vision of the Founding Fathers and begins with, "We, the people of India." Authority flows from the people, not from any king or foreign power. The Preamble says India will be sovereign, independent in internal and external decisions, socialist, aiming at social and economic equality, secular, no official state religion, equal respect to all faiths, democratic, governments elected through regular, fair elections, republic. The president is an elected head of state, unlike monarchies. The Preamble secures justice, social, economic, political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, worship, equality of status and opportunity, and fraternity, dignity of the individual, unity and integrity of the nation. These are the foundational pillars for Indian government and society, guiding courts and government every single day. The Constitution declares India, also known as Bharat, shall be a union of states. This phrase is very important. It means the country is one whole unit, divided into states for administrative convenience. No state can secede from the union, ensuring strength and unity. It lists all states and union territories and gives Parliament power to reorganize states, create new ones, change boundaries or names. This power has been used many times since 1950, from provinces and princely states to new states, often along linguistic lines. Examples include Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and Telangana. Flexibility that helps India evolve and administer better. Along with territory, the Constitution explains who is a citizen. Citizenship is the legal link that gives rights and duties. It laid down who would be citizens on January 26, 1950, by birth in India, parents born in India, or residence for a certain period. Parliament was empowered to make detailed laws. The Citizenship Act, 1955 governs citizenship by birth, descent, registration, or naturalization. India follows single citizenship. Citizen of India, not of any state. Whether Kerala or Punjab, your rights are the same across the nation. This promotes a sense of unity and belonging. It really ties the whole country together. These territorial and citizenship foundations support democratic institutions, parliament, government and courts, functioning within a single constitutional framework. A united map, shared citizenship, and equal rights give India both diversity and cohesion. One of the most important parts of the Constitution is fundamental rights. These are not ordinary rights. They are guaranteed to every citizen. They are fundamental for all-round development, intellectually, morally, spiritually, and protect people from unfair state action. If government violates these rights, a citizen can go directly to the High Court or Supreme Court. This empowers people and limits government. The Constitution guarantees key fundamental rights: equality, freedom, against exploitation, freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and constitutional remedies. Right to equality means everyone is equal before the law. No discrimination on religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Equal opportunity in public employment. Untouchability abolished. Right to freedom includes freedom of speech and expression, peaceful assembly, forming associations, and moving and residing anywhere in India. The right against exploitation prohibits human trafficking, forced labor, and bans employment of children under 14 in factories or mines. The right to freedom of religion lets every person believe in, practice and propagate any faith. Cultural and educational rights protect minorities, their language, culture, and the right to establish educational institutions. The right to constitutional remedies, called the heart and soul by Dr. Ambedkar, lets citizens approach courts to protect their rights. Courts can issue writs. These rights are not absolute. The state may impose reasonable restrictions for public order, morality, and national security. Courts balance individual freedom with society's needs. That's essentially how the fundamental rights work. In practice, these rights empower everyday life: speaking, assembling, worshipping, learning, and seeking justice. They keep liberty meaningful and government accountable. Besides enforceable rights, the Constitution has directive principles, guidelines for central and state governments to build a just society. They aim at social and economic democracy, livelihood for all, equal pay for equal work, men and women, free legal aid, village panchayats, early childhood care, environment, forests, wildlife, and international peace. They are not enforceable in court, but fundamental to governance. The state should apply them in making laws. Sometimes they conflict with rights, like land for a hospital versus property. Courts say both are important and must be read harmoniously. In 1976, fundamental duties were added: moral reminders to respect the Constitution, flag, anthem, uphold sovereignty, unity, and integrity, promote harmony, protect culture, safeguard public property, develop scientific temper. The framers knew society changes. They created an amendment process so the Constitution adapts, neither too easy nor too hard. 3 methods: simple majority for routine matters like state boundaries or citizenship rules, special majority for most provisions, including fundamental rights and directive principles, and special majority plus ratification by at least half the states for core federal provisions, protecting the union-state balance. Could Parliament amend anything, even remove rights? In 1973, in Kesavananda Bharati, the Supreme Court said, Parliament cannot destroy the Constitution's basic structure. This judicial doctrine, though unwritten, is now core law. Supremacy of the Constitution, Republican, democratic government, secular character, separation of powers, and the federal character, among others. It acts as a safety valve. No amendment can turn India into a dictatorship or abolish judicial review. Courts can strike down such changes. The Constitution's journey began in struggle and hope, was crafted through debate by great minds, and stands as a moral promise that frames democracy, protects rights, and guides the future. It is a living document, adapting over decades, preserving the world's largest democracy, linking India's past, present, and aspirations. So that's why the basic structure doctrine matters.